There are hundreds of print-on-demand platforms, and it's quite a confusing space. Ultimately, we just want to know which one is going to make us the most money. Now, this can be based on a few different factors. Which one will provide us with the most traffic, which one has the most scalability options, and which one charges the least. There are a lot more, but those are the three main. I want to uncover the truth to which one is going to allow you to make the most amount of profit per item sold. I'm going to be doing a series of videos like this where I'm going to be breaking down a whole bunch of companies to find out in each category which one excels. This video, the focus is profit. Which of these companies do you need to use to have the highest profit potential? Here are all the companies I'll be exploring. If there's some missing, I apologize. It could be because finding their base price was impossible, or they just slipped my mind. If there's one you want me to add in, please let me know in the comments down below and I will try and add it in to the next video. We're going to focus on t-shirts here because what I've typically found is the company that are selling the cheapest items, they'll be doing that throughout their range. So the company selling the cheapest t-shirt will also most likely be selling the cheapest mug and the cheapest hoodie. Now, the price of a t-shirt should be dictated on a few different factors. The main one being the quality of the item. If a company is charging $2 for a t-shirt, that's great, but we don't want our customers receiving something really, really bad that might only last once. Now, that's not to say it has to be expensive to be good. When I was ordering my t-shirts a while ago, I was doing it in bulk and they cost me around $2 each. And it was probably some of the best quality I have ever seen in my entire life. I still have those t-shirts today and they still are perfect 8 years later. However, I did order in bulk, so I was always going to get a cheaper price. Most people who want to do print on demand can't order in bulk because that's not what print on demand is. And I went back to that company to see how much they still are because 8 years later there is inflation. But funnily enough, they're still only $3 per item when you order in bulk. But again, we don't want to order in bulk here. We want to find the best possible company where we can do print on demand. Now, having the privilege of doing print on demand means you have to pay that premium. For this experiment, we're going to base this information on a selling price of $25. Let me tell you why. In all my years of selling, I've shifted over 8,500 items, made over $100,000 in profit doing this, and I noticed some interesting development when I messed around with the price point. A very memorable time for me was a few years ago when I was selling a whole bunch of t-shirts. It was a crazy time, and my go-to price was $19.99, and I sold a lot of them. I decided though that I wanted to try and increase my profit and see if that would change anything. So I went through a couple of tests. I slowly increased it to $21, then I increased it to $23, and finally I settled on $25. Now I probably could have increased it all the way up to $30, but I just didn't feel comfortable selling a t-shirt for $30. The best part about this story is that at $21, my sales actually increased, which is mind-blowing if you think about it, because I was making $2 extra per item. Then at $23, it decreased just a little, and I thought, okay, this is the end. You know, I've started to go down again. I should probably go back to $21. But I thought I would finish the experiment, which I'm so happy I did, because I increased it to $25, which ended up being the most popular pricing point, which means I made more sales and obviously more money selling it at $25 than I did selling it at $19. I know that sounds ridiculous, but there's this perceived value with more expensive items, and people are more willing to spend that money because they assume they're going to get better quality, a better experience. Let's go through all these companies now to see how you can potentially pocket a further $5, maybe $10 per item selling at $25. So here are all the companies. Some are done in a very unique way. So some are done in royalties like T Fury, Cafe Press, Society 6, Designed by Humans, T Public, Zazzle. These are royalties, which is why you'll see $1, $1.25, $2.50, $3, and $3, because that is how much you'll get. The base price of the item is irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. You know, so for example, Cafe Press, you get 5%. So selling at $25, you'll get $1.25. So these are very, very low. And quite frankly, I would just avoid them for now. Maybe they can be your back burner when you've uploaded to all the other companies and you're just a bit bored and you want to just upload to a few more. Then I guess, upload to these companies. Now, this is where we get into the real profit makers. So starting at the bottom, we've got Redbubble. Redbubble, the base price is $20.21, which means selling at $25, you'll make $4.79. Bonfire, you'll make $5.63. Fine Art America, $7. Threadless, $8.34. And you can see they're all very similar, between $9 and $8 and $8. Then we jump up with Printify at $15.39. Printful, $15.75. Gearbubble, $16. Awkward Styles, $16.40. Gelato, $16.49. And this is all just selling a simple t-shirt for $25. That's what you'll be profiting. Motif, $16.92. Teasley, $17.63. And T-Chip, $19. So quite a hefty profit margin and quite a hefty difference between some of these companies as well. I mean, it's crazy. The one that really stands out to me is something like, Bonfire or Redbubble, where you're literally making like $5, right? Compared to if you sell on, merch by Amazon, where you're making, $8.59. So you're nearly doubling it with the same kind of platform where there's a huge marketplace. And we'll talk more about that later. But basically, there's a huge marketplace, which is why they have to charge more. But then as soon as you get rid of marketplaces like Printify, Printful, Gearbubble, Awkward Styles, you're really, really increasing your profit. And if you link that to eBay, Amazon, Etsy, you're able to make an absolute fortune because your profit margin is so large. These numbers are really interesting because some of these companies I would never even thought to have used. But looking at the numbers, it might make sense to try them out. Now, there's a clear distinction between the prices here, and this is based on marketplace. You have companies that have integrated marketplaces like Amazon and Redbubble, and then you have companies where you have to connect it or drive your own traffic, like Printful and Printify, right? And with those two different companies, they're going to charge drastically different amounts because one has this whole infrastructure of a marketplace that they have to also advertise and it costs them a whole bunch of money, right? So it makes sense that there's a bit of a price difference there. The thing you have to really consider is, based on all the companies that have a marketplace, the prices are somewhat different, but not so drastic. So what you want to focus on there is which marketplace is the best. Which one's going to get the best customers, the most amount of traffic, the highest converting customers, and that's where you want to put your attention, like Amazon or Etsy or eBay, right? Then with the other angle, where the platforms that don't have a marketplace, you want to focus on price and quality and these elements because that's what they specialize in and that's what you're going to be able to get out of those companies. So just because something like Motif is way up there at the top with $16.92 of profit, will I use them over Awkward Styles? Probably not, because the difference is only 50 cents or so, or 60 cents, or whatever it is. And the difference in quality, well, Awkward Styles is, in my opinion, considerably better, right? So you've got to really factor in. And then if we go down a bit further, you've got Printful. So for me, Printful, the ease of use, it connects to so many different places. The quality is also pretty good, right? And there's just over $1 difference between Printful and Motif. So is that $1 for me worth the ease of use, the scalability, the connectivity with all the other printing partners and all the other platforms that I can sell on? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. There's a lot of factors here. This video is literally just which one's going to make you the most profit. But in terms of which company is best, you've got to factor everything in. So what should you do with this information? Because I've just told you the profit, but then I've also told you that there's a whole bunch of other factors you have to consider. Well, we can see clearly the 5 best platforms solely based on price would be Teasley, T-Chip, Motif, Gelato, and Awkward Styles. With those platforms, you'll be making a minimum of $16.40 per sale. Meaning, if you sell 10 items a day, you'd be making $4,920 per month. That is a seriously good income for print on demand. However, I personally don't recommend all of those platforms. I know it sounds counterproductive here, but let me explain. Like I said earlier, there are many other factors like website ease of use, traffic, product quality, customer satisfaction. All of these play a role in what company to choose. And in future videos in this series, I'm going to break down companies based on those factors as well. And eventually, after learning about all of these different companies, testing all of these different companies, I'm going to be able to create one mammoth video finding out which company is truly the best. Now, you also have to realize that print on demand, it changes over time. So let's just say hypothetically that Printful was the best company to use, right? Just because it might be the best company now, in 6 months' time, it might not be the best. Maybe they increased their prices. Maybe they changed their production cycle or something and the quality wasn't as good. Things are always changing, which is why I'm always making these update videos to let you know which one is currently the best one to use. Now, the next video kind of in this series is which platform gets the most traffic, which marketplace, I should say, gets the most traffic. So you've got to watch this video next to find out which of those companies actually will bring you the most customers, because obviously the most customers tends to lead to the most sales. So check that video out now.